Hi, welcome to week 2 of our weekly focus mini. This week, our focus is on productivity and alertness and concentration, focusing on focus today. And I feel like this is kind of a nice piggyback from last week's topic, which was stress management. This focus stuff that we're going to be doing today falls under the umbrella of stress management, but we're going to fine tune it a little bit more and go more specific to alertness and concentration. So I'm super excited to have you here today. We're going to be doing a couple of different exercises. The first exercise that we do does not require any props, so you won't need a Yamana ball or anything like that to do the first exercise. The second exercise that we do, it is recommended to do with a Yamana ball. So if you don't have a Yamana ball, first of all, what are you waiting for? It's one of the best investments you can make in yourself because they're super affordable, excellent quality. They will last you forever. But I understand if you have not yet made that investment, you'll still be able to follow along and watch. You can try doing the exercise that we're going to do just on the floor without a ball. I've never tried it that way, so I don't know how successful it'll be, but certainly give it a go and at least just get an idea of what the Yamana work can offer. So this first exercise, as I mentioned, it doesn't require any props. So just get yourself comfy. If you're watching live, which I know a lot of times we're not going to have anyone live, you're going to be coming in on replay. But if you're watching live, please say hello, make a comment if you can. And if you're watching on replay, also say hello with a hashtag replay. And feel free to comment throughout this little focus mini session that we're having, and I'll do my best to read your comments and answer you in real time. And if you're watching on replay, I will answer you when I see your comment. So get yourself comfortable, whether you're going to sit in a chair or just on the floor or lean against a wall or whatever feels good to you. So the first thing I want to show you is something that I have dabbled in for a long time. I think starting back in my dance days in college, I learned some of these techniques. And these are actually some techniques that come from acupuncture and reflexology. I'm not an acupuncturist or reflexologist. Some of you are. So we have some people in this group who are professional acupuncturists and reflexologists. So as we go through this routine, if that's you and you have some insight to share, please do chime in. I would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on this. So feel free to type it in comments. Or even just send me some messages later about what you think about this. So this is not going to be official reflexology work. This is just what I've picked up over the years, starting way back in college when we used to start our dance classes like this sometimes. So very interestingly, the ears have a lot to do with our alertness and our productivity. So in Eastern medicine, it's thought that the ears are related to different organs in the body, including the brain. So by kind of stimulating and massaging the ears, we can increase our concentration and our focus and also relieve stress. So it's kind of interesting. So go ahead and put your hands, use the palms of your hands right on your ears. And when you're doing this, try to make sure that you're keeping your shoulders dropped. So you don't want to let your shoulders come up towards your ears. So lots of space here. And just cup your ears. You might not be able to hear me very well when you're doing this. So maybe I'll tell you first and then you can try to cup your ears. So what we're going to do is just some gentle circles both directions. So maybe 5 or 6 circles, easy breathing while you're doing this, and you're just going to kind of circle the ears using your whole palm of your hand and cupping the entire ear. So a few times like that, and then you're going to go the other way. So now you're going to go back or forward, whichever you did first. Now you'll reverse it. I can barely hear myself talk when I'm doing this. So we're just kind of waking up the ears, and we're going to go deeper into this now here in a second. So we've done some circles. We've kind of brought our awareness to our brain and to our head and our skull. Now we're going to bring our attention to more specific. So we're going to go into the ear lobe. So I want you to take your index finger and your thumb and just kind of gently grasp your earlobe. And you're going to do the same thing we kind of did, but on a smaller scale. So you're going to do some gentle circles. You can see that there. And interestingly, The right earlobe is thought to affect the left brain, and vice versa. The left earlobe is thought to affect the right brain. So you can do this one at a time. If you're going to be doing something like really analytical, like spreadsheets and data, you might want to really focus on massaging that right earlobe to get your left brain all stimulated. But if you're going to do something creative or more free thought, more free flowing, you might want to really focus on that left earlobe. I would still recommend doing both though. If you really just want to integrate and get the two sides working well together, just do them both at once. And again, you can go forward for a few and backwards for a few. Okay, so next thing, this one is actually a little new to me. I have done this before, but I had forgotten about it and was reminded when I started researching sort of the history behind all this ear stuff. So this one is really fun and is often recommended for kiddos when they are starting school, or if they're having troubles with concentration in school. A lot of times I've learned that teachers will recommend this exercise for their students to get them to focus better. So you know how we have like a fold on our earlobe here. So it's kind of like a little lip, it rolls forward. So what we're actually going to do is start right at the top of the earlobe, and we're going to work our way down, and all along the way we're going to unroll. It sounds kind of funny. We're going to unroll that little lip. So it's like you're trying to flatten it out. And we're going to start at the top and we're going to work our way down to the earlobe. I see some people watching. I can't see who you are, but I see that several people are watching. So hello, good to see you. If you are so inclined, please say hello so that I can properly greet you. But anyway, so we're starting here at the top and we're gently unfolding that ear. Now you might notice that certain parts of this are tender. This part in particular for me is very tender right here. So when you find those tender points, you certainly want to spend a little bit of extra time there. And in Eastern medicine, it's thought that if you have tenderness in the ears, that it's a sign of like disharmony somewhere in your body. Hey, Alicia, good to see you. Finally getting to talk to you with my voice. We've been texting a lot, and hey, we've been texting a lot and messaging a lot, but it's really good to see you, girl. Glad to have you here. Hey, Cindy, nice to see you too. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. Okay, so we're doing it from the top down. Now let's go ahead and do the other side. So you're gonna grab the kind of top of the ear there, and I happen to know that it's right above this little portion of the ear called the tragus. I happen to know what that's called because I used to have it pierced. So this little flap right here. So you're gonna kind of uncurl all around. You're doing this slowly and deliberately so that you're not rushing through. You never want to rush through with any of this stuff. So it's actually advised when I was sort of researching this, it's advised that you do this several times. So I did one side, then the other side. Now let's go ahead and do both sides together. So this is all about that sort of integrating the right and the left side. So we're unrolling our ears. Kind of a funny feeling here. And it's really awesome to do this kind of thing if you have been on your phone a lot, if you've been actually talking on your phone, which I don't know how much many of us do that anymore, but if you've had the phone up to your ear, it gets really hot right there and it kind of smashes your ear into your skull. This is a really great way to kind of undo that. Another thing I find is like if you're wearing like noise canceling headphones, they kind of compress your ears and push your ears in. That's also a great time to practice this exercise. And then certainly like if you wake up in the morning and you've been sleeping on one side for many hours, this is a great thing to do, and it also kind of jumpstarts your day. Okay, final thing here for this ear stuff. So this is actually my favorite one, and this is the one that I do the most. I think that this actually comes from a technique called brain gym, which I'll probably talk about at other times too, that I have learned over the years. But it's back to the earlobes, and it's so interesting to when you start to like really tug on these earlobes, how much it increases your alertness. And I use this particular exercise that I'm about to show you a lot these days because I am especially sleep deprived, and I get drowsy when I'm driving, especially if I'm driving for more than like 20 or 30 minutes. So sometimes I start to feel like I'm really getting pretty drowsy pretty quickly. So I utilize this technique when that happens. So again, you're going to kind of gently grasp the earlobe right at the base where it connects to the ear, and you're going to just gently pull down. This is a gentle thing, so it shouldn't hurt. As you're pulling down, you might want to open and close your mouth a couple of times. And you'll just feel that tension start to dissolve. But what this does is it really increases your alertness quickly. So do that a couple of times, and then pause for a second, look straight ahead, and then try to take in your peripheral vision. So see, just looking straight ahead, what can you register in your brain? What do you see on your right side, on your left side? You might have more range of your vision on the right side than the left side. So just kind of notice that for yourself. And now we're going to do it again and do it about 6 times or so. I don't know if that's a magic number, but that's what I've learned. So maybe about 6 times. And then once you're done, look straight ahead again, and now check back in with your peripheral vision. Can you see more than what you saw before? For some reason, I don't really understand all the science behind it, but for some reason, when you stimulate these earlobes, it increases your peripheral vision. So it's kind of amazing. Again, it's really helpful when driving. Like I said, I've used this technique so many times. It beats rolling the window down and hanging my head out the window to try to bring my awareness back to the road. So those are some quick, easy tips that you can do without props that will certainly make you feel more awake, more alert, and give you more of a sense of focus. So we're going to switch gears now, and we're going to start to do the skull work that I've been kind of talking about all week. I'm really excited about this. This is one of Yaman's newer routines. It's not brand new, but it's not certainly one of the original classic routines. So for this exercise, if you don't have a ball, you can probably follow along and just use the surface of the floor. We'll see how it goes for you. I'll be curious to hear your feedback. But if you have Yamana balls, I would have your pearl one or your silver or gold. Any really of the large ones will work. And then also have a black one handy. I'm going to kind of show it with both. My preference is the black ball because it's just more detailed. So let's talk for just a second before I back up and give you a whole view of what we're going to do. I want to bring out my trusty assistant here, Skelly. So here he is, my best bud here. So he is not a very he's not a very high quality skeleton. He's pretty cheap, so he doesn't have a lot of range of motion that like a true life size teaching skeleton would have. But I can use him, I think, to show you just a little bit. So I'm not sure how well you're gonna be able to see. There we go, you can kind of see. So we're gonna be working the center suture of the skull here, the parietal sagittal suture, and it's where kind of two main plates of your skull come together. So it's technically a joint. This line right here is technically a joint, but it's immobile. It doesn't have movement to it. It's basically fused together. But anywhere bones come together, we call it a joint. So you can kind of think of it too as like my hair part is a little bit off center. It's not totally center, but if you kind of think of like where your part is, it's going to really be right down the center. Now, something that's really kind of cool about this is Yamana refers to this suture as kind of the spine of the skull, which I love. If you've done this Yamana work with me before to any degree, then you know the spine is a huge focus in this work, and whatever happens in the spine affects the rest of the body. So we can do a simple roll up the spine and you'll feel the effects all over your body. So similarly, if we're going to roll through the spine of the skull, you're going to feel it all the effects all throughout the head and skull, as well as probably down into your jaw and neck and shoulder. So this is going to be maybe a little different from some other. If you've done Yamana with me before, it might be a little bit different. I'm looking for my hairband here. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to have to pull my hair up for this, I think, because you're going to want to see what's going on. So we're actually going to start on all fours. I'll back up here in a second so you can really see what we're going to be working with here. So you want to start out on all fours. Now there are variations of this that you can do lying on your back or even like against a wall or something, but I'm going to show you kind of this classic, I thought I saw another comment. Okay, I'm going to show you this kind of classic original version of the routine. So you're going to get yourself set up all fours. You want to have your hands kind of underneath your shoulders and your knees basically underneath your hips. So you're not going to be like real splayed out here or anything. I'm going to show this from the side and the front so you can really get a good idea of what I'm doing. So either large or small is fine. Like I said, I really prefer the smaller size. So what I want you to do is get yourself pretty comfy. Make sure that your weight feels equal between the right hand, left hand, and right knee, left knee. And then you can start to bring your head, the crown of the head, we call it, right? Sort of that swirly whirl, right where your hair begins. So kind of the bullseye of your skull. You're going to bring that down right onto the ball. And you can bend your elbows if that makes it easier. It's also going to help if you tuck your chin. You might have to hold the ball for a second so that it doesn't roll away. If you don't have a ball, just try it like this and see how it feels. Just give some pressure into the floor. It's probably not going to be completely ineffective. I think you might still get some benefits from that.
But if you have the buoyancy of the ball, that's great. So you're just going to let your weight sink down into the ball here. Now, ideally, you would stay here for about a whole minute. I'm going to have you stay here for a few breaths, and you can stay longer if you want. I'll probably go more quickly through this than we would do like in a long full hour class. But you're still gonna get the benefits even if you just do it for a few breaths. So as you're sinking in and feeling that gentle compression into the skull, you might notice right off the bat your eyebrows can relax, your forehead can relax. You might feel it down into the temples, down into the jaw. Maybe open and close your mouth a couple of times. You're just taking some breaths. Now we're going to follow this suture both forward and backward. So you can do this either by moving your body or by using your hands to move the ball. So I'm just going to make it easy and use my hands to move the ball forward. So I'm going to turn this way now too, so that if you want to kind of see what this looks like from the front. So I'm going to use my hands to move the ball forward. By forward, I mean towards my hairline, towards my forehead. And I'm literally going to go less than an inch. So from about here, I hope you can see that. Okay, looks like you can. So from about here to about here. Really short distance. So we want to be as thorough as possible. And then you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to take some breaths here. Again, if you were going to do the whole shebang, you might stay here for a full minute or more. For now, a few breaths should suffice. Just let your shoulders hang. They're going to fall with gravity. A few breaths here. If it's more comfortable to be on your forearms, you can, or if you prefer to be here, you can. And then you're going to bring it even a little further. Now, I should mention that if you have any like severe neck issues, specifically if you have like a neck hernia or something like that, like a disc issue in your neck, this would probably not be your first thing that you would want to do. There are ways to do it safely, absolutely, but it's the kind of thing that you want to do with the eyes of someone else to watch you. But for most of us, this should be a really lovely therapeutic exercise. So we've moved it forward a couple spots. We're going to stop when we get sort of to this right where our hair ends and kind of meets the forehead. So kind of right there. This is tempting me to go even further with it and do some face work with the face ball, but we won't get into that right now. That'll be for another focus mini. Okay, so after you've gone all the way to your forehead, go ahead and bring it back to the center. And just feel that again. And if you even want to do, I've kind of gotten in the habit of sort of dropping my weight in a little more and then coming up, just to give it a nice sense of buoyancy there. When you're ready, you're going to start to move it back now. So you're going to go back towards the back of the skull, and it will help you if you tuck your chin. If you tuck your chin, you're going to be able to go further back. So I'm going to use my hand so I don't lose the ball. I'm tucking my chin to my chest. I'm resting my elbows on the floor. I'm taking some breaths here. Again, if you're doing this without a ball, let me see what this feels like here. I actually think that this could still be quite beneficial. It's not as forgiving, like the floor is a lot harder. The floor doesn't feel quite as good, but I don't think it's useless. So I hope that you're trying it if you don't have a ball. So a few breaths here. You've been here for a few. Hopefully you could stay longer if you want. When you're ready, tuck the chin a little more to access further back. And I find it helpful to hold the ball with my fingers so that it doesn't just pop away. If the ball's rolling away from you, you need to put more pressure into the head. Now there's some fun little variations that we could do with this if we were going to take it really deep. Little bit of exploring kind of right and left of center here. But for today, we're just going to stay right down that center of the quote unquote spine of the skull. Oh, that feels good. Okay, I could stay here a lot longer, but I'm going to stop there for now so that I don't get, sometimes you get down the rabbit hole with this work and you just, you could go on and on and on. So I'm not going to bore you with that today, but I urge you to really explore this. And like I said, you could try it even kind of standing against a wall. I often will do a similar variation after we've done a roll up the spine where I'm on my back and I just kind of use my fingers to move it forward. It's a little different focus, not as much about brain stimulation and bringing circulation to the brain. It's not as much about focus. It's more about just relieving tension if you're on your back doing it, but it's still really, really lovely release. Okay, so I just want to say one last thing before I go.
I've alluded to the center spine routine that we do. One of the classic Yamuna routines is to go up the spine with the ball, and it's excellent for increasing your energy and focus and alertness. I'm not going to give it away today because I want to save it for, it's coming, my 5-day Tech Neck Challenge workshop that's coming up, the free workshop I'm doing in October, and we will absolutely be focusing a bit on the spine in that workshop. You cannot talk about tech neck without talking about the spine because the neck is part of the spine, right? So I will be sharing one of my favorite classic Yamuna routines during that 5-day workshop. I'm not sure which day yet, but it will happen. So I'm not going to do the center spine routine today, but it is a great one for energizing your body. So if you're familiar with it and you've done it with me before, I urge you to try it. Okay, that's it for today. That's all I have for your focus mini on alertness. But I really find these tips, especially this ear stuff, I find it so useful. So I hope you do too. And if you have any questions, of course, you can either leave comments here or you can make a post in the group. I really encourage people when you have questions about anything to post it in the group so we can start a discussion about it. And commenting on other posts are great too, anywhere that you feel comfortable. And if you prefer it to be private, you can PM me or text me or email me or whatever. So great seeing you all and have a wonderful weekend. And I will hopefully see you next week, same time, same place, Thursdays at noon every week, my weekly show. I don't know what the topic's going to be yet next week. So if you have a request, post it in the group. All right. Thanks, everyone. Great to see you. And I hope to do it all again next week. Bye.